What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. A couple of days ago, Maxpeedingrods, a longtime sponsor of the channel, reached out to us and said that they had a new product available that they'd love for us to try out. So we said go ahead and send it. So what we have here is their new hardtop folding bed cover for 8-foot or 6-foot bed pickup trucks. So we had them send one out for our 2017 GMC 3500, and today we're going to open this thing up, check it out, and get it installed. So let's get through the intro and jump right into today's video. Now that we've gotten through the intro, let's get this big old box opened up so we can take a look at Maxpeedingrods' new bed cover. Now that we've got the box moved over to a dry spot in the driveway, let's open this thing up so we can check it out. All right, let's lay this thing down and open it up. Well, they've got it packaged really nicely right off the bat. Looks like a little maintenance booklet, some insulation foam, probably for around the edges, I would assume. All kinds of little bumpers to keep this thing safe in transport. Actually some pretty heavy duty foam bumpers down here at the bottom and up here at the top, so that'll definitely help keep it safe. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box, up on the bed, and take a look at it. It's actually not all that heavy out of the box. Let's get some of this bubble wrap off and see what this thing looks like. I'm really curious to see the finish on it. Try to open it without cutting it. The finish looks really good on it so far. I think this is the bottom side because we've got the latches and stuff, but seems like a nice durable texture. Definitely couldn't just pop through it with a knife like you could with some of the soft covers, which is why I like the hard covers for the bed covers. They're just way more sturdy for snow and stuff like that, and it helps keep people out of it a little better than the soft top ones. Obviously, if someone wants into something, they're gonna find a way in, but this makes it a lot more difficult for them. So I like the fact that I'm gonna be able to just throw stuff in the bed and not necessarily have to tie it down or worry about it. So let's finish getting this thing opened up. It's looking really good. I'm super happy with the finish on it. All the hardware seems really nice, and where this thing folds up looks like it's gonna hold up perfectly fine over time. But I did want to touch on the packaging one more time here. As you guys can see, there's nice sturdy foam blocks in each corner. There's some in the center as well to keep this thing nice and rigid and safe when it's being shipped. Half the time when you order something big like this, that's half the battle, getting it to your doorstep without damaging it. So it looks like they definitely went above and beyond as far as the packaging goes. So let's get this thing off the truck for a second. We've got to get my old toolbox out of there so that we can start laying this thing up in place and start to get this thing mounted up. So real quick, guys, I just wanted to hop into today's video to let you know that we do have a discount code for Maxpeedingrods. The code is B2B, and you can enter that at checkout to save 10% on anything Maxpeedingrods has to offer. You can buy a turbo, suspension kit, one of these nice new bed covers, or anything else that they have on their site, and you can save 10% at checkout by using code B2B. So let's hop back into today's video. All right, let's start getting the toolbox out of the truck so we can get our new bed cover installed. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this plastic so we can open this thing up. There should be a box in there with some bolts and different clamps to get this thing mounted up. So we're gonna carefully cut the plastic. We'll leave that tape on for now. And now we should be ready to try to unfold this thing. Oh yeah, it's got a really nice finish. some more of those foam blocks. That should be our hardware right there. Oh, it even comes with a little stick lamp so you have light in the bed. That's kind of cool. Dylan, can you grab that hardware package? All right, I'm gonna set this back down. Now I'll open up the hardware and see what we've got. But it did come with this little stick-on lamp. We might do something else lighting-wise, but it's cool that it came with something at least. So we'll go ahead and get the hardware opened up and see what we got to do to get this thing installed. Let's open up the hardware and see what we've got. Again, really nice packaging. It'd be very hard for UPS, FedEx, USPS to lose this stuff because it is sealed up really nicely. Everything has a place. So we'll get this stuff out of the package here and then we can start getting this thing installed on the truck. Looks like we've got a few different screws and some Allen wrenches, some security pins. And then these look to be like little latches or handles. When we go to put the tonneau cover on, we should be able to just flip these and then flip that section of the bed cover back. So these seem to be pretty decent. So let's go ahead and get the tonneau cover up here and we'll start putting all of our hardware on that we're going to need to get it mounted to the truck bed. All right guys, so it looks like the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take these turnbuckles. They're basically just clasps for the strap itself so that when you have the cover folded all the way back towards the window, you can clip it in here to hold it in place. So we're going to take a couple of the screws that came with the kit and the little Allen wrench and get these mounted to the back rail of the tonneau cover. So looking at the back side of the tonneau cover where these straps are, we're going to go ahead and take those bulkheads and get them screwed in right here with the provided hardware and Allen wrench. So we'll go ahead and grab the Allen wrench real quick, get one of these started in there. Gonna make sure that sits nice and flush. And we just want to snug these down. They're not going into like steel, they're going into the aluminum so they could keep this thing nice and light. So we just want to go snug with them. Don't over tighten them. I'm gonna say right about there is good. Now that we've got those on there, they're sitting nice and flush to the bed cover itself. Let's go ahead and throw the one on the other side and then we can start getting ready to set this on the truck. So we're just going to do the same thing on this side with this buckle. I'm going to say right about there is good. Now we can move on to the next step and we're one step closer to getting this thing installed on the truck. All right guys, so the next thing that we're going to do is take some of that weather stripping that they provided. I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol on this paper towel just to make sure we don't have any major oils or grease here, and then we can lay down the weather stripping so that we get a nice good seal at the window side of the bed. This alcohol is not for you, Timmy. I'm just going to take the weather stripping and line it up with the edge of our plastic railing there, and then we'll run it across and cut it flush at the other end. Right there? You already stuck it, so yeah. This stuff actually seems to be pretty good weather stripping. It's sticking really good to this bed liner. I was worried that it wouldn't, but we're just going to keep running it across here. It's definitely going to help seal this thing up so we don't get water in there. I'm just going to take our razor blade. Now that we've got the weather stripping on, we can move on to the next step. You got to come my way. There we go. All right, so we've got the bed cover up on the truck, but before we start installing the first set of hardware, we're gonna go ahead and unfold it so we can get our placement perfect before we start tightening this thing down. Now that we've got the bed cover set on there and we unfolded it, I actually really like how this thing looks. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it, but now that it's on there and unfolded, it actually looks really, really good. So we went ahead, got it unfolded, and we measured it out from the bed rail to the bed cover and tried to get this thing squared up as close as we can. And now that we've got that done, we can fold it back up and start installing our first set of hardware. We're gonna start closest to the back window of the truck and work our way towards the tailgate. So folding and unfolding this bed cover is actually super easy and definitely a one-person thing. The only reason both of us are doing it is because we measured it all out and we didn't want the bed cover to move around before we started installing our hardware. Now that the bed cover's folded back up, I'm gonna crawl in there and start tightening that hardware. Now that we're up underneath the bed cover in the bed of the truck, we're gonna take our hardware. This is our first piece of the clamp here, and this is gonna slide over that and just lock onto this bed rail so that it can't come off. So we're just gonna lock that up in place like so, making sure that the lip of this lip right here is on this side of the bed rail so that it can't slide out. We're going to slide it up in place, making sure that that's locked in there. Then we can take the larger two of the plastic wing nuts, get that started on there. Get it on like so. And now we can do the other side, and then we can start tightening them up equally. Once we have these larger wing nuts tightened down where we want them, I'm just going to take the smaller plastic wing nut and we'll get those on there, and I'm just going to run it up to that, snug it down on it, just to keep it from backing off in the future, just like so. We'll do the same thing to the other side, and now we can start working with the handles on the next set of latches. Now that we've got our first set of clamps tightened up on the bottom of the bed cover, we can start working on our next set. I'm gonna do this set before we even unfold it, and then once we flip this section, we can work on the next two. So we're just gonna take the handles that come in the kit, these ones right here. We'll flip this up. Make sure that we get this piece with the threads aligned properly. Get it started just like so. Not sure exactly where those are going to need to be yet, thread wise, but the way this is going to work is the same way as that clamp we just installed. This piece right here is going to go on the outside of that bed rail so that when you flip this down, it actually pushes up on that, which is going to cause it to tighten up. And then just to open it, all you've got to do is flip it back like that and it'll loosen up. Now when you flip it back like that, I'll show you guys right here, this will come up like so. And then you can put it right into that piece of rubber that it comes with to hold it so that they're not just loose and flapping around. So we've got this one started. Let's do the one on the other side. Then we can unfold this and work on the next one. All right, let's flip it and work on the next two. Now we can go ahead and unfold it. And we can go ahead and get these handles installed. Not 100% sure why, but it comes with the extra rubber to hold the handles in place, but these last two weren't installed when we opened it up. So we'll go ahead and get these in there real quick. There we go. All right, got those in place. Now we can take one of our handles, do the same thing we did on those last two. Now we can move to the other side and do our last one. So I found the easiest way to get these rubber pieces installed is if you bend them outward like that, just like so, and then you can push down in the middle and then slide them to where you need them. Now we can get the handle started. Flip it into place. Now we can unfold our last one, flip our handles down, find out where they need to be threaded in wise, and this thing is good. All right, let's go ahead and flip one of these handles down like so. Now, like I said, the idea here is this jaw is gonna go on this lip right here. Now on my particular truck, we have this plastic bed rail cover, and then there's also kind of a thick lip here. So I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be a snug fit with this design, but we'll go ahead and mess around with it for a second, see if it doesn't fit. Looks like it's going to. It might just be a little bit on the tight side. You just got to really make sure it bites on that inner metal lip there. Which it does. I don't know if you guys can see it. It definitely does fit. It's just a little bit snug on my design because we have that plastic and a folded over metal lip here. If the plastic wasn't there or this lip wasn't folded over, this would fit perfectly with ease. But since that is there, it's a little bit on the snug side when you're trying to get it lined up. Once you get it lined up though, it does snap right into place and it's going to stay there without a problem, nice and firm. So not too worried about it. Just something to keep in mind when you guys are installing it. It might feel like it's not going to fit, but it definitely does. You just have to mess around with it and find the perfect medium here as far as how far on you have it threaded and stuff. So we'll go ahead and get that clamped back in place, just like so. And we are good to go. Let's do our last ones. All right, let's flip our last one back and get this one latched in. Alright guys, so I don't know if you can see it from there, but when I try to flip this one down, it's just a little bit too narrow right here in this channel opening on the handle to clamp over the thick lip of the metal there with this plastic liner in place. Now I'm sure if it didn't have that there, it'd be perfectly fine, but because it is there, it's making it just a little bit too tight for me to get this in where I want it. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a file to this a little bit and widen out that channel just a touch to make it a little bit easier to clip in on this particular setup. Now I'm sure on most pickup trucks you're perfectly fine, but mine has the optional tie down points from the factory right here, which are almost right in the way. But if we widen out that channel a little bit, I think it's going to give us a little bit more room to work with and make life just a little bit easier. So I'm going to grab a file and open those up just a touch, and then we will put it back on. So we're just going to take a file here and work this a little bit. We don't want to go any deeper with it. We just want to open it up a little bit since my bed rails have that extra thick lip on it. So like I said before, if yours didn't have that, it'd be perfectly fine, but mine does. So we've been working on this one for a minute here with this file. And not sure how well you guys can see it, but we made the channel a little bit bigger on that one than it is on this one. So we're going to try this one. If it's good, we'll go with it and then do the same thing to this one and we'll be good to go. This thing is on there and it is not going anywhere. Now that we've got the bed cover on, it actually looks sweet on here. I'm super happy with that thing. But now it's time for the real test. Let's go ahead, open up the little light that it came with. I've got 3 brand new AAA batteries right here. We're gonna try this thing out. This light's definitely better than no light, so there is that. Good, stick it in there. As you guys can see, I've got that light stuck to the bottom of the bed cover, and it's definitely better than no light. It's not the brightest thing in the world, but the fact that it just comes with the kit is kind of cool. Now, luckily, my truck does have some built-in bed lights, so we'll have Dylan go ahead and hit that switch and see what these look like. So as you guys can see, again, not the brightest things in the world, but if it was pitch black out here, I think this would be plenty of light to see what we're doing. We can take a closer look at it later tonight when it gets much darker out here and see if we can see in there. But as of right now, they're definitely better than nothing. So we'll go ahead, kill these lights, and take a look around the truck. I think it looks sweet with this bed cover on it. So we decided it'd be a good idea for me to climb in the bed here. And as you guys can see, this thing's pretty sealed off. It's super dark in here. But we're gonna go ahead and try that light that this thing came with and see if we can see. And as you guys can see, we can actually see in here pretty good. So we'll have Dylan go ahead and hit the built-in bed lights again and see what those look like. And just compare the two real quick. Oh, with those on, we can see a whole lot better. Let's turn this one off for a second. So even just with the built-in bed lights on these trucks, I can actually see really good. But with that one, it actually does make more of a difference than I thought it would. So that's what we're working with for light in here, guys. So let's go ahead and check this thing out from the outside. Now that we've got the new bed cover all fully installed, this thing actually looks really sweet. I think it looks much cleaner than the toolbox did on this particular truck, and it just looks really good in general. Now, as you guys can see, this thing is nice and sturdy. If I wasn't such a big guy, I wouldn't have any hesitation hopping on top of that thing, so I don't worry about it with snow or anything like that. So me from the future here, guys, as you can see behind me, it has been a few days, and we have gotten absolutely slammed with the biggest snowstorm that we have had in years, and it just so happens happens that we just got our new Maxpeedingrods hardtop bed cover installed, so I figured it'd be a great time to climb our way back there and take a look at this thing. I want to see how well it's holding up to all of that weight from over 2 feet of snow, and this stuff is wet, heavy, and nasty. So let's climb our way back there. We'll open up the tailgate, see how this thing's supporting all of that weight. Now that we've clawed our way back here, let's go ahead and try to open this thing up. I already unlocked the truck. This stuff is wet, heavy, and nasty. I've got a light here. Let's go ahead and lay it down in there, see if we can take a look. As you guys can see, this thing is completely dry. I don't see any bowing or bending, anything like that. All the clamps are still on nice and tight. This thing seems to be sturdy as can be. Now, it does come with little safety pins that I forgot to mention that you can put right through this hole here in the handle to lock them in place, so you don't have to worry about them opening up when you're going down the road. But we didn't put ours in. I wanted to give it a little while, try it without them, see if they are needed on our application. Now, I do recommend putting them in so you don't have to worry about this thing popping open on you. But for us, I wanted to give it a try as it is. Now, as you guys can see, with over 2 feet of wet, heavy snow, which, let me tell you, I've been shoveling this stuff. It is extremely heavy, but with all of that on the bed cover, this thing seems to be rock solid. So really happy with what we're seeing here. I don't see any leaks, no drips, no bowing, or anything like that. So this thing is rock solid. Now, it does have a weight rating. I'm not 100% sure what it is off the top of my head, but I can tell you it is more than over 2 foot of wet, heavy snow. So once again, really happy with the installation on this thing. I wanted to give it a try for a little over a week or longer to try this thing out, to let you guys know how I really felt about it. I've been using it quite a bit, and I actually really enjoy having it on the truck. It's so nice to be able to just throw stuff in the bed and not have to worry about it. So all in all, definitely extremely happy with this bed cover. So huge shout out to Maxpeedingrods for getting this thing sent over to us. And as you guys seen, installing it was an absolute breeze. It comes with absolutely everything you need, including the little Allen wrench to tighten down those turnbuckles. So all in all, this thing is a really nice tonneau cover. It looks sweet on the truck, and we are super grateful that Maxpeedingrods decided to send one out for us. So if you guys want to pick one up or check out one of their turbos or suspension kits, make sure to use our discount code B2B. You can enter that at checkout to save 10% on anything that Maxpeedingrods has to offer. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and check us out on all of our other social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, and Bought to Build Official on Instagram. And we will catch you on the next one.